thank those that bore with yesterday's video, my first. If you didn't have headphones on or your auxiliary speakers, there's a good chance you didn't hear any of the vocal on it. Could have been a blessing in disguise. Anyway, I hope I've got the problem rectified today, and we'll soon find out. Today I want to talk about another snare drum, and this is second in my series on banging on a budget, or how to play the drums without spending a whole lot of money. And today I'm going to talk about a snare. Yesterday I showed a Maxtone by Pearl, Japanese stencil type kit, made in the late 60s, early 70s. And this is probably an early 70s stencil drum also. This came with a Maxtone kit that I bought at Guitar Center online for $79. It was a 5-piece kit, and therefore this is, you know, if you divide by 5, $79, you get $14.80. So this is a less than $15 snare drum. Now I've thrown a Remo Coated Emperor on it and a Remo Ambassador Hazy, and I've tuned it up. Ooh, hope that didn't hurt your ears. And let's see what this thing sounds like. I like it. I think it sounds as good as drums costing 20 times as much. Again, as I said the other day, a metal cylinder that's in square and in round with decent bearing edges. How bad is it going to sound with good heads and good tuning? How different can it be than a $1,000 metal snare or a $500 metal snare? Metal might be a little thinner. What I do find is sometimes you do have inexpensive snares that might be a little ringier, and so if you put a Evans Genera HD dry in there, that drum's going to sound great. In this case, you know, I just put a 2-ply on it, and it was because it was a drum head I had laying around, as I think we all have inventory in drum heads unless you're just starting out. And I think it just sounds great. I've got it way up high. And a lot of drums can sound good when you get them up high. And that's the way I like them most of the time. One of the tricks I've learned, and I think I got this from a guy named Masloff. He makes drums. He's got a YouTube channel. And it was a way of, you know, changing the tone of the drum without having to go through a whole retuning process. So we've got this, you know, key in my hand, so that's why I sound even more sloppy. Let me do this. Got it up nice and tight. That's the way I kind of like it. I know a lot of younger guys playing rock music are going to say, what the heck, you know? And it's a hassle to, you know, try and get something low, and then you want to play it a couple, 3 tunes later, you want it up higher. 3 tunes after that, you want it medium. One of the tricks I learned is if you look at the drum and you start with going clockwise, this lug here is being 1. Well, if you go to the second and the 4th lug and loosen just those up, you can make a quick change without, you know, going around the whole head and trying to get everything to match up and be in tune with itself. You can make a quick adjustment. Now, if I'm going to those same spots, I'm doing a half turn. Okay. starts to get into a medium type tension setting. And if you're on a gig and you like it nice and cranked and you're doing some kind of, I don't know, funky stuff with a really tight snare drum, or you're doing some jazz kind of feeling tunes with a nice tight snare drum, and all of a sudden you want something more contemporary and go to a medium tuning, you just adjust those two tension rods and you get something a little more contemporary sounding. And you need to take it a little bit farther, you go a half turn on each of those two tension rods again. And you got that. Now I'm loosening the strainer up a little bit. Get kind of a more contemporary rock sound. You can actually detune, and I'm going to do that. I'm taking it 4 half turns or 2 full turns. Those are in there, finger tight now. Loosen the snares up, maybe even a little more. So on the gig, you can get a multitude of sounds out of the drum very easily, very quickly, and it seems like if you get it tuned up high, it really responds to this two-lug tuning process to get it into either a medium or a lower funky swamp kind of sound. You can also do that to a certain degree with the rest of the kit. I'm just going to go over here because this is a little low, but I'm pretty much in jazz tuningville. And but if I take this and do 2 half turns up here, 2 half turns over here, and I come over here and do 2 half turns, and over here, like the top of my head, see the bald spot? 2 half turns, and even just go to the 2 top lugs on the snare drum, and I mean it goes to detune once I do 2 half turns. But you could be on a gig and go from tight, funky kind of sound to little tricks of the trade. I hear a phone going off in the background. We're going to have to ignore that. But right now I'm going to take it back up to a jazz tuning with just a little bit of effort. Taking everything up 2 half turns. All right. I can remember all the lugs I did this on. 2 half turns on each of these. And then over here, this we got 4, because we took it all the way down to swamp dog territory. And I just love this stuff. When I was a kid and I couldn't afford a drum set, I was playing on practice pads. I would walk just about 2 miles to a drum store, and they only had one drum set in the window, and it generally was there for a couple of 3-4 months until they sold it. And I would take that walk on weekends just to go stare at the darn drums. I'm so thrilled to have been able to play all my life as a hobby and have had some really nice kits, but I'm really passionate and really enjoying banging on a budget. Anyway, let's see, we're back. We should be back to jazz here. So, that's what you can get for $14.80. And I say that to anybody, but especially young guys who are trying to figure out how do I, get my kit to sound good, put some good heads on it, tune it up correctly, use a little common sense. You can make it sound great as it is, or you can upgrade for $15 to something different. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, I'm looking to build a community of people. I'm at an age where I want to have some people that I can share my passion for drums and equipment with, and hopefully you guys are getting something out of this. I've got a lot more drums and kits and cymbals to talk about, and some crazy anecdotal stuff that's happened in my 68 years on this earth. So please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.